successfully.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another edition of our weekly real estate backstory. This is where we kind of go over all the comings and the goings and everything happening in the real estate world here in the Atlanta market. My name is Alan Richardson. I'm the managing broker here at Maximum One Realtor Partners.
And my name's Ming Richardson. I'm a compliance broker for Maximum One Realty and Realtor Partners.
And my blushing bride.
Aww.
All right, we want to kind of start off talking about property descriptions and writing a really great property description. We spend a lot of time on our property descriptions. We see a lot of value in that. And we keep seeing terrible examples. And this, if I'm talking to you, I'm sorry, but like you need to hear this. Like I love you, but seriously, fix it. Like some of these are really, really sad and lonely, and it hurts my eyes just to see some of them. And so I kind of want to start off with the whole, this is what we got to make sure that we're fixing. Okay. And so I'm not trying to be negative Nancy starting off today, but first of all, let's
We're just trying to help you because, image, first impressions, everything, and how you describe a house matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because this is how you're exposing the property to the viewers online. And if you have a poor description, and the house is going to reflect that, even though it may be a beautiful home. Yep.
So first thing here is, let's make sure that we are kind of all over the place here. We got to make sure that we are not typing in all caps, right? Because that's one of the things that is really like folks think you're yelling at them when you type in all caps. And I know that back in the day that our MLS used to type everything in all caps, but guess what? This is not back in the day anymore. So stop yelling at folks because they think they've done something wrong
when you type in caps.
Yeah. And so also use your exclamation points very sparingly. Like we don't need to be going like everything is an exclamation point, because when everything gets an exclamation point, nothing stands out. So it's okay to have one, but like you really shouldn't use more than one in a listing description. And then don't overuse capital letters. Every word does not need to be capitalized in a listing description. Next one is no more than 3 features per sentence, because sometimes it's like, and this 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 and that just kind of it's hard to read. It really throws people off.
They do bullet points because that's actually better than doing in this, and also in plus.
Yeah. So. Well, and then no misspelled words. And no bad grammar. The grammar Nazis are out there and they will judge you. So let's make sure that we get that. And those are easy to do.
Not grammar. It's okay. Get someone else that can proofread your product before you put it online.
Yeah. Don't repeat the listing basics. Like it's already going to show the number of bedrooms and another bathroom. So you don't have to start off with this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, kind of thing. It's already there. And no weird list of unimportant features and stuff like that. We also have to make sure, you're my...
Once again, fair housing, please describe the characteristic of the house, not the characteristic of folks that may potentially inhabit the home. So what I'm saying is that gourmet kitchen is fabulous, but don't say gourmet kitchen for the chef and you. When you put
or for
family. So when you put a personal characteristic of a person, then you have violated fair housing, and that fine can be very substantial. It may cost you your license if you don't be careful.
So be smart about it, and then stop with the really old, tired cliches, right? Because there's so many of them out there, and so like we've got to stop with that. Like I'm sorry, everything is not luxury. Okay, I saw where there was a luxury trailer listed. Oh, I'm sorry. And I'm not knocking trailers, but like, is that really luxurious? It didn't look luxurious. It was a trailer. Rare, unless it really is rare, don't use this one. Natural landscaping. Well, like describe what that really is. Cozy. Unless this is like a fairy tale, or if it's up in the cabin, up in the mountains, if it's not a cabin, it ain't there, kind of thing. Charming, wonderful, that kind of stuff. I don't even know what charming means anymore. So we got to make sure we get that. Well, but it's important because we keep seeing where like it's turned into like you can find these same lists out there now of like what a realtor says and then what it really means, right? So, a unique urban home, that's really a building that used to be an industrial location. One of a kind is another word for beyond ugly. Sprawling ranch means that the crazy floor plan and it isn't wide open, spacious means it's smaller than you would really want it to be. So we want to use our listing descriptions wisely.
So I shouldn't use spacious, is that what you're saying?
You should use spacious, but really is spacious kind of thing.
Gotcha.
And so, begin with a hook. You want to talk about the true features of the property, and you want to be a storyteller. People like to hear stories, and so tap into their emotions on there. Before we put a listing description together, we list out what are the key attributes that we want to put into our listing description. Sometimes folks just sit down and just start writing whatever comes to their mind. Go ahead and list those things out so you can work them in there. And then
look at it from a buyer
Yeah.
perspective, what will catch a buyer's eye based on the property? And there's some property that is hard to describe. We understand that.
Yeah.
But just be realistic in what will make this property a unique one, versus just a 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch, a stepless ranch, and what have you.
Yeah. All right. Well, we want to kind of jump over into the mortgage rates. So mortgage rates jumped up again.
Yeah.
And so we've seen where mortgage rates have moved up substantially over the last 2 weeks. And so we're like, oh, I thought mortgage rates are dropping, and they are going to be dropping. But here's our challenge right now is that, inflation drives mortgage rates. And
Correct.
so, one of the key US inflation measures that they use to measure it, that the Fed uses, that jumped up the biggest amount, right? And so when that happens, that's what really causes, interest rates to really move the way that we've seen it. And it's kind of, so like you can see like what's moved. Folks started eating out big time in January. And while I'm not knocking eating out, I'm all for it. But like overall consumer spending, we're seeing where consumer debt is increasing. And at the same time, food and dining, like we're going out and partying like it's 1999. And so, but that's a big piece of our inflation. Housing is still a big piece of our inflation, even though, and that's because a lot of that data is really old and that kind of stuff. So we have to be smart about what's really going on. And one of the things that we're seeing, even though we see that interest rate at 6.5, there is a huge disparity right now from lender to lender. And so we've got to make sure that we are having our clients to shop multiple lenders. It's just you need to be really smart about this right now, because the folks who shop multiple lenders, because sometimes you'll see lenders who are like, well, if you got this rate over here, I'll match it and that kind of stuff, or I'll do this over here. So shopping multiple rates is a smart thing to do right now.
They're being very competitive right now as well, kind of like, the sellers and buyers. They want to get the loan because for a long time there, the loan origination has dropped tremendously. And then we did get a little bump 2 weeks ago. And now, of course, with the inflation rate, is going to affect the loan application as of this week.
And so I'm all for local lenders. I think local lenders are crucial. I need people I can look at and be like,
Absolutely.
no, we'll pinch off your little head kind of thing. I mean that in the most positive way possible. But first of all, the local folks have much better service. I'm just in my humble opinion out there kind of thing. Like their reputation is really important to themselves and to their company, that kind of stuff. And they're gonna be really most competitive with you. The folks who really are out there trying to earn your business out
Correct.
there. Now, on the positive side of lending, FHA borrowers. Or FHA just came out and they have dropped the mortgage insurance premium from 0.85 to 0.55, and that's going to equate to about somewhere around $100 a month for a lot of our FHA buyers. Now, here's the kicker. Okay, it doesn't kick in until March 20th, and so let's say that you close something FHA next week. They're not getting
Doesn't
it.
Apply.
What about the loans what about the loans?
Pending loans right now?
No, they're going to need to refi now. And now, could they change that? The government can do whatever they want to, but as it stands right now, there's no no one's calling for them to go back and
They're not retroing right now.
and this is a pretty significant amount, and it says, $800, but really it can be a lot more than that kind of thing.
Okay, that's the average for the average purchase price. So if the price is higher or lower, that's going to reflect that as well.
Right now they're estimating that for the average property, it should lower their monthly mortgage payment by $113 a month, which is not $800. It's around $1,300 a year. So $113 a month less on their mortgage payment. That's a big deal because honestly, even in that money, like mortgage insurance is only there to take care of the lender. I mean, or the secondary mortgage market. Yeah.
Because just remember during downturn market, US government have paid a ton of money out because they guarantee all the FHA loan, where we see a lot of foreclosure on that. So, in the past where they were exempting the MIP after 80%, after 20% of payoff, but now it stays on FHA for the entire lifetime.
And FHA is still keeping that in place. Like they are still keeping the mortgage insurance. And so we do see where FHA is still a really good choice for a lot of our borrowers. But we do feel that, if you're going to get it, then in a couple of years, refi, right? Because once you get that 20% equity, you can lose all your mortgage insurance payments, which is a big deal at that point. And that's one of the big benefits for conventional loans.
And it may cost you a little bit to refi at the time, but at the same time, hopefully the interest rate will have dropped for you as well. And so therefore it's a win-win for you.
I mean, right now the average mortgage insurance is somewhere in the $3,000 to $4,000 a year range kind of thing. And so that's a pretty significant savings when you can get rid of that on there. So we're not anti-FHA, we're not pro-FHA. We just need to understand what we're really talking about. For a lot of our FHA borrowers, this is a really good deal. And if you have anyone that is closing before the 20th, you might want to look at moving some things around. And I know that's a tough thing to do. I mean, but we got to be honest, right? This is one of those things that's very timely. It doesn't kick in until the 20th. So if you close on the 19th, they're not getting that same rate.
Curious whether or not if you already have a pending file that, let's say today, and then you don't close on March 31st.
Check with your lender right now.
Check with the lender,
that's the kicker, because this just came out. And so a lot of the lenders are still trying to figure out all the nuts and bolts and everything going on about it. So let's make sure that we're looking at that. Now, for the folks who are like, hey, we're waiting for the market to crash. Guess what? Delinquency rates are dropping. And so you can see that year over year, the total delinquency rates for mortgages is down almost a half a point. Last year it was at 3.4. This year it's at 0.4.
And the reason being they have equity in the house. A lot of folks will rather sell and basically cash in the equity and go do something else.
Well, and so in these states, these are the states with the highest delinquency rates, for the past year. And in every single one of them, the delinquency rates have dropped. And so, when you look at this map is actually really telling here, because you can see that, the vast majority of these are the darker greens and the reds. And that's really good because this all in all measures up 384 markets in the United States. 4 out of 384 had actually saw rates increase. 380 out of 384 markets across the USA, there's the serious delinquency rates dropped. So there is no foreclosure market coming. There's no, I mean, like people are hanging on to their homes. And people are not going into foreclosure. We're seeing where these rates are. And so we need to be honest with our clients, because we have, I'm just going to wait for the market to crash. Well, you're going to be waiting for a real long freaking time, right?
And everybody else. So just understand, everybody thinks alike to a certain extent. And there's a lot of massive people out there. So if you're waiting for that one good deal, you and probably 50 other are bidding on the same property.
Yep. Now, one thing that you'll see out there right now is, they talk about how existing home sales descended almost 1% in January. And okay, that may be overall nationwide, but when you look at what happened here in the South, actually, home sales are up in the South. Like this, this graph here shows, like, you can see, so this has north, south, east, and west, right? North, northeast, north, midwest, south, and west, right? And it shows, and you're like, okay, existing home sales, maybe they are really trending down. Sometimes if you just look at the South, I mean, just for giggles kind of thing. Oh, look, in the South, home sales are trending up. Okay. And so, here in the South, we account for about 40% of all the home sales in the United States. And so, we are in the Sun Belt. It's a really good place to be. We have like our trends are a little bit different than what you see. And so when you see these national numbers, you think, oh, okay, things really are slowing down.
You need to look at geographic.
Yeah.
So, and geographically, we're doing really well in the South.
Well, you can see that, the South as well as even the West, saw gains. We saw that Midwest and the Northeast where sales were down, but here in the South,
Mhm.
it's been trending up. And so that's a really good thing to see. Also, at the same time, we've seen a real uptick in new home sales. And so in January, new home sales are up 7%. And so we've seen two consecutive months of builder confidence with, that's been improving. And at the same time, here's the interesting, the median price for new construction fell largely because they're building more condos. And so I know that not all the condos are in townhomes, condos and townhomes. They're building more of those, but the price point is lower than single family homes.
Correct. So this is an average.
Yeah. And so, looking at the numbers, overall, and these are national numbers, that came from Redfin. And so our median sales price is we're still up over last year, and we're still seeing where our median sales price is up. List prices, there's a little bit of disparity there between list price and final sale price, but it's getting a lot closer. We've seen that number. You can see there's much larger disparities from year
But
to year.
there's not a double-digit gap in increase
Yep.
in the value.
Now, overall pending sales are down 17%. And while I'm not happy about 17%, seeing how it was at 33%, we're moving in the right direction. We're closing that gap. And the other thing you're going to see here in another couple of months, when we start trending, like we start moving in the summer, you're going to start seeing these numbers really start to invert.
Correct.
So I think they're actually looking a lot better in the market than what they actually look like on paper or in graphs and that kind of stuff. Overall, new listings of homes for the nation are down about 19-20%. Here in the Atlanta market, we're really flat on new listings. And so that's a good thing for us because we need more inventory.
Correct.
Right? The more inventory we have, the better off. And so, that being said, total active listings are up about 20%. We needed that. But you say, okay, those listings are up 20%. Yeah, but like we're still like, when you compare us to like past years, our inventory level is historically low. And even that, our time on market.
Well, if you look at that graph too, it shows 2022 was one of the lowest inventory available.
Yeah. So, these are our days on market. And so you could say, well, days on market are trending up. That's true. They are trending up. But how about compared to like 2017, 2018, 2019, things like that? We're in really, really good shape there.
And we're still within 2 months of inventory.
Yep.
So typically it takes 6 months before it becomes a even playground for both seller and buyer.
And almost half of our contracts are half of our pending sales going to contract within 2 weeks. So on one hand, that's a benchmark for listing agents. On the other, like even for buyers agents, we know that like good properties priced right are still moving quickly. Like this is not the time like, well, we'll just wait. Well, then if you want to wait, you can buy this house for more next year, kind of thing.
Yeah, as well as preaching in the past, marry the house and date the rate,
Yep.
because you can always refi down the road.
All right, so about 20% of homes are still selling above list price. We're still seeing that those properties are still moving out there. And now one area where we are seeing is the number of homes that have price reductions. It is down from January, but it's still really, really elevated. We still have a pretty big gap between what the sellers say that they want to get for it and what buyers are willing to pay. And a lot of times the seller's like, well, we just want to try it. And then what happens? You got 2 weeks to get a full price offer on a property right now. So it's just the bottom line. Now, one interesting, so moving over into like apartments. I know it sounds weird, but this is, like, hey, we're talking about residential real estate. Why are we talking about apartments? Well, guess what? The apartments are getting smaller and the rents are going up. And so when folks say, well, I'm just going to rent, well, then you're going to have less and less space, right? Because the average apartment size is down to like 800 and something square feet. And that is, like I'm not saying it's like IKEA room size on things, but it is definitely moving down in the size. So here in the Atlanta area, the average size of new apartments being built is 900 square feet. And the average size of all apartments, currently is 969. So you can see that the average apartment is continuing, even in the Atlanta market. The new stuff that's being built, it's going to be like this. You're going to be really, really tight.
You're gonna
And
be
so,
very cozy.
like when we start talking about homes, like the average townhome, the average starter home, way bigger than 900 square feet.
Correct.
12 to 1500 is kind of that, even in that normal size. Even finding a home to
Even about
buy,
14, 15.
yeah, but finding most new homes or most starter homes, like they're over 1,000 square feet. So you're going to be moving up and you're going to be spending less. So that's a really important thing for us to be looking at. One other nice trend that we're seeing, I say nice, well, let me,
Nice.
what I mean about this is like we're investors too. Like I think all real estate folks should be investors. This is our market. When great deals come along, you should take part in that, right? And so, but that being said, investors are buying roughly half as many homes as they were last year. And so this opens up even more opportunities, because we know that the homes that the investors were buying, they weren't buying the high-end homes. Like they were really competing with our first-time buyers, heavily with our first-time buyers, with anyone looking for fixer-uppers, those kind of things. So the fact that we have half as many competition, or half as much competition for those folks
Starter
looking,
homes.
yeah, I think that's a really great place for us to be.
Yes.
Vacancy rates for offices are really up. So in the US, office vacancy rates are up, and they've been staying up, and they're not really looking like they're kind of coming down.
No, and just because a lot of employers have allowed telecommute, and employee are coming in only 2 days a week, so the employer either are downsizing, if not rotating out the office to become a shared office space versus a designated, dedicated office
Yeah,
space.
nationwide, the vacancy rates are around 12%. In Atlanta, it's almost 13%. So, and it does have some rollover effects into housing, right? Because when folks aren't going to the office as much, they're working from home. And so we're seeing where features like Zoom rooms, where we,
a flex room where you can do Zoom workout, whatever, to where it benefit the overall usage of the space.
And that's so important. Like a lot of our buyers will always want the open floor plans, and then you get this giant open floor plan, and then you can't Zoom anywhere because there's a kid running around the back, and your spouse walks through in their underwear, that kind of thing. Not that I've done that, I'm just saying, but like having these kind of spaces is an important thing, and it rolls over. The new paint colors for 2023 are out, and they are all over the board right now. In past years, I don't know, I think the paint companies kind of got together and said, hey, this is kind of what we're doing, and some of them did that this year. So we have this red, mauve, kind of pinkish blue, blushy kind of thing for a lot of them.
The colors is very bold.
Well, but we go from this bold magenta, crimson red, all the way over to PPC paints. They're going with blue, green, teal, basically. And then we have like Bear just kind of went blah. I mean, it's just an off-white. And so I do see that as a very popular interior color. But in past years, it's always been, hey, this is the color. This year's colors are greens and that kind of stuff. This year's colors are all over the place. Yeah, we got nothing for you. So sorry to break that to you. Whoever you're really, whatever paint brand that you really kind of enjoy, that's kind of what we're looking at. You can see, Sherwin-Williams is blue.
Back to basic, just so you know, if you have small house, your off-white always gonna make it look bigger. So when you have bold, dark color, it's gonna make the room look smaller. So if your objective to have this room very cozy, then by all means. But at the same time, if you're looking at for resale, I would recommend to stick with the white, where it is a lot more universal.
Well, it goes with anybody's furniture.
Correct.
The buyers coming into a house don't come in and say, gosh, first thing we gotta do is repaint this red wall. You know, we had friends of ours from, you know,
Well, I used to have a red wall, so
well, we had that, but you know, we tried to sell, or we sold a house for our friends of ours, huge Auburn fans. So the whole basement was this.
orangey.
We're just gonna say it was very, very, very orange, right? And so that was a huge issue for a lot of the buyers. You know, they come in, they like, first thing I do is get all this orange out of here. I got to put some bulldog red in, that kind of stuff. So,
There
you
we
know,
go.
you kind of, you know, you limit your buyers, and you make buyers have to make choices with that
Correct.
kind of thing. Now, as far as training goes this week, we've got a couple of classes coming up. So I'm going to be teaching in our McDonough office tomorrow. I'm going to be teaching about staging. And so for listing agents, I teach this class from a point of view of being a listing agent. I want to teach you how to properly stage homes so you can sell them for more money in a short amount of time. Okay, and so that's the entire focus there. Now, on Thursday, I'm teaching for Fayette Board of Realtors, and it's a virtual class, Making Money with Real Estate Investing. You can sign up on the Fayette Board's page over there for that one, and that one is a virtual class. And so this is all about working with investors as well as being an investor yourself. So we hope that you guys are going to have a great week this week. If we can be of any kind of service, please call, text, smoke signals. We answer it all.
Happy Monday, y'all. Have a great one.
Bye-bye.
Take care.